Hello again and welcome back. Let's play some more AI War 2. So the last thing we were looking at was taking out these two data centers, but we're also having to move our fleet back to intercept enemy attacks at the moment, and we've got another one coming on at Limavady. So I think I'm going to spend some science to give us some help defending our systems. If I buy the turret tech, which costs 5,000, so super expensive in terms of science, 5,000 really is a massive amount, but if I buy that, all of my turrets across the entire galaxy will be increased in mark level by 1, so they'll all get a lot stronger, they'll get tougher, they'll do more damage, they'll be better at what they're doing, like, you know, if they have particular special effects they do. And yeah, that's going to be a huge boost. The big benefit there of having those is that they cost the same amount of energy. So it's the same amount of energy, I believe, for a Mark II turret as it is for a Mark I turret and so on. We can double check that. If I go to Ballybogey, we can see we've got some Mark II turrets here, translocator turrets. I'm going to take the turret upgrade. It says here that it's going to give me 137 raw strength by taking that upgrade across the galaxy. Let's take it. And we've now gone to Mark III. Oh, I forgot to look at the energy costs. That's a bit silly. But we can compare the energy costs across a couple of systems. So we've got because this is the home command station, it's on Mark level 3. So let's take one of our turrets, pike turrets. Have we got any pikes here? We should have some pikes here. Here we go. Pikes are at level 4 here, and they cost 2.25k of energy. If we go to another system, Dunwich, we've got pikes at level 2 here, 2.25k energy. So increasing your technology level, a good way to get more benefit without spending more energy. And we were running a little bit low on energy. That was a bit of a concern. So now we've got the upgraded turrets. It's even more worth building, making sure we have lots of turrets, building lots of turrets. We'll have a look at Limavady. We've got a wave that's going to come from Saxmundham. I'm actually going to unpause now. Let that tick down. So in a couple of minutes we attacked there. Can we build some more turrets? Well, we can get some more fusion turrets up and they'll be at Mark III. So we'll put them so that they can start shooting almost immediately as things come in. If we put them here, those fusion turrets will immediately start shooting the things they come in from Saxmundham. Ideally with turrets, what you want is to have your turrets shooting at the enemy for the longest time possible, but also to be able to cover and defend the important structures that you need to defend. If the enemy comes rushing past all your turrets and goes right next to this, you need the turrets to still have enough range they can hit things that are around there. Okay then, let's get on with our offense. So we're going to go to Saxmundham with our fleet. I'm just going to fly in. There's not very much threat here. Not very much enemy strength present. So I'm just going to fly in from Limavady. And the enemy may try to escape, because they might recognise they're very outnumbered here. Doesn't look like that's happening yet. Let's drop out my forces, and we're going to cut them off from going and leaving here, so they're going to try and escape 2 ways, but we'll cut them off and make sure they don't escape. Make sure my forces are moved in front of them. And we'll also kill everything else in the system. We'll just clear up this system basically, because it's one that we're going to want to move stuff through. I'm also going to move down my Fleet 2, my support fleet, to help down here. I'm going to leave Fleet 3, my battle station up here, defending. That's fine. And we can see we've got the wave about to hit Limavady, so we'll watch that and see how our turrets do. You can actually back off a bit so that our turrets can have a bit more action. 4 more seconds and Limavady, they're going to come in. So it used to be that they would spawn directly at the wormhole, but now there's different types of waves. There's some that can spawn at the wormhole and some that would spawn, you know, from different places. I thought these ones were actually coming from Saxmundham. I should have looked at the tooltip. It would have told me they were coming from Aberdare instead. You can see my turrets are doing well there. Tractor beams have caught a few. Those that have got close to the shields are getting shot up. They're prioritised by my turrets automatically, which is cool. and we've got a lot of paralysis fire coming in from these spider turrets. So we seem to be in pretty good shape. I guess we're going, one shield is slowly getting knocked down, but still in pretty good shape. You can see that the AI's instinct here on these waves, these relentless waves, is just to go right next to the shields and start bashing on them, so you do need to make sure your turrets can reach them. And we've got some more things that have been picked up here. Some border aggression. Okay, another thing that's just happened, I'll pause this for a second, is that an AI instigator base has appeared. Now, instigators make things worse over time, so there's something that you need to go out of your territory into the AI territory and knock over if you can. This one is boosting wormhole invasion budgets by a certain amount every 90 seconds. So the more it goes off, the worse that's going to be for us. They'll get a bigger wormhole invasion budget. It's over here in Eglinton. I think that we can take a kind of a detour to go over here. You know, this is on our way to Belfast, actually. I was going to go through St Ives, but I'm going to go to Eglinton instead, and we can knock over that instigator base. However, there is a structure here that makes this a little bit more complicated, which is they've got a black hole machine. Black hole machines mean that ships with not particularly strong engines can't leave the planet. So you can get trapped on there. We can get trapped on Eglinton with our slow ships. However, our transport ship has... How much engine power are we looking at here? I think if I... Where's the engine power listed? I think our engine power is 18, so... Yes, 18 GX. So we would get caught. Our transport flagship would not be able to leave. Now, that would mean that we would either have to hack the black hole machine to get rid of it, or destroy it. If we destroy it, AIP goes up by 5. If I were going to take this system, Eglinton, I guess I would want to hack or destroy it, and we would take this Lost Spire frigate, which is a very cool alien capital ship. This could give us a base from which we can go to other places. Neither of these transports is particularly interesting. Maybe we could do Blaney, but I think I wouldn't mind having Eglinton. It's in a position where it can defend itself from these 3 wormholes, build a base down here and it can defend itself. How many metal harvesters does it have? Well, it has 10 asteroids. 10 is a good number, so it's quite a valuable bit of economy there as well. So I think we're going to take Eglinton, and that's going to be my new plan. And we'll pass through Grays to do that. Grays is a very tough world, but we can knock that over. So let's unpause and get on with that. I'm going to move my factory in here, Fleet 2. And that will be supporting these guys, building more stuff. I'll just pick off the remains of the enemy here, and then we'll gather up outside Grays, and I'm going to take my roam off, because we're just going to go in and secure the area around the wormhole. Let's have a little scout. So we have Plasma Guardians floating around. We'll come in next to a troop accelerator. So this is going to increase the reinforcements to this planet. This is why this planet is quite heavily defended. So we need to be aware of that. Oh, we found a stealth guard post that we're going to knock over. Going to take that out, guys. Thank you. You can see I've got lots of melee ships. They have to actually fly over there and attack directly.
Absolutely.
And this instigator's still going off. So let's go into Grays with Fleet 1. Going to set them to attack moves. They attack things that are close to them, but don't roam too far away. Oh, they've got an orbital fortress as well. Yeah, so quite a nasty force of enemies here. Their Warden fleet is fleeing, but they still have a good amount of strength here. That's going to cause us some problems. So we'll just wipe out the stuff that's nearby to the wormhole first. We'll try and avoid these guardians and pick them off later. We'll defeat the enemy piecemeal, basically. And I'm going to take this orbital fortress out. I'll make that my priority, since it's currently bombarding me. So the fortress is down. Ooh, another group of AI just turned up. Yeah, so they're now getting a bit cocky. They're kind of reinforcing this planet. So what I'm going to do is retreat back to Saxmundham to rebuild my fleet a bit, and then we're going to come back. But for now, we're going to retreat, because they've moved quite a lot of defensive forces in here. And we may draw some enemies through with us if they feel strong enough to do a counterattack. Nope. So we can see here our overall strength as our fleet gets rebuilt. I'm going to wait till that's back up to about 100%. Then we'll go after them. Let's check that our defences in Dunloy will be enough to defeat this incoming wave. The wave is coming from Ashburton, they will appear at the warp gate on Ashburton. So they will appear over here, and then they will fly to Dunloy. We've got our number 4 fleet, our defensive home guard. Let's move them back behind the turrets and take them off free roam for now. And we could build a few spider turrets here. It wouldn't hurt to have a few spider turrets. This is because our battle station's here, we can do this. And maybe we'll have some translocator turrets as well. Let's look at the range on these. So we've beefed ourselves up a little bit there. Move the battle station back. Let's go back to Saxmundham and we'll pop back into Greys. And I'm hopeful... Yeah, look, they have built up a significant force here. So this would be a real grind to get through this many enemies. But we could give it a go. We are killing things here. Yeah, the AI is kind of spread out, whereas we're concentrating in one place here. So we are able to pick off a lot of these AI strike craft. You can see they've got these force field guardians coming in, but when we destroy them, they stop providing protection to their forces. So this is actually a good opportunity for us to kill a fair bit of their Warden fleet, although this is going to cost our economy a bit. We have really good metal economy, partly because we've got these gang saws, which when they kill things they generate metal. I'm going to put my guys onto free roam so they can all get involved in this fight. But I'm feeling confident that we can hold on to this for now. They're going to run out of Wardens to send in and we're going to slowly chop them down. We're getting reinforced faster than they are here. If we look at number 1, see it's kind of constantly building up and getting knocked down, whereas their strength is going to slowly tick down. A counterattack is now building here, but we won't let that happen. And let's just keep an eye on Dunloy as well. Lots more things that our tractors can't stop there. Let's put 4 onto free roam so that all of those can join the defence of the planet. And the hope here is that we will pick off enough of their strength that they're not going to be able to chop through these force fields. Yeah, our turrets are doing great over here at this group. Particularly our fusion turrets are shooting up these capital ships and destroying them very nicely. Okay, going to pause it because this is an important message. My combat factory fleet on Saxmundham bailed out. That means the enemy sent some forces through to Saxmundham. Yeah, just a little raid force, and those were enough to defeat my combat factory, to cripple it, and so it fled back to Limavady. And it's now paralysed for... I can't remember how long you're paralysed for when you get bailed out. Does it say there? Well, anyway, it's paralysed for a bit, so we've lost our ability to reinforce. Yeah, this is paralysed for a little bit. But it will come back. Once it's fixed, it will be unparalysed. So we've lost our ability to reinforce at Greys, and consequently we're not building any new ships, so when they get destroyed, they get knocked down. But we have killed most of the enemies here, so that's not really a problem. So once this is unparalysed... How long are you paralysed for? I feel like there is a tooltip here that should tell me how long this is paralysed for. Oh, here we go, paralysis. Only 2 seconds left now. So I'm going to send... I'm going to temporarily move 1 back to clear everything up in Saxmundham. And I'm going to send support fleet 2 over there to rebuild them. Just being on Saxmundham actually would allow them to build their forces back up, because they would be neighbouring the factories in Limavady. So now the counterattack could go off, because I've moved my forces out there, it's no longer stalled. But we've got a timer that we can work on there. So we'll go back in to stall that counterattack and we'll destroy the guard posts there, that'll be fine. A thing that you can do to protect your support fleet is you can give them one of your ship lines. So I might just do that. If I go to my ship line here, Overloader Support, I can give it one of these empty slots, and I can give it one of these various things. So I think, just to protect them, I'm going to give them some basic defences. Maybe one of these Mark 1 ships from my Home Defenders fleet. Yes, I'll give them the warbird because it does paralysis attacks. It can be useful for keeping them alive. So I will swap those over. And now this factory will build warbirds. I believe that should work. Yes, we can see those ticking up. And the first warbird should come out in a moment. There it is. So these will now be tasked with defending the factory. Now, we can clear up everything here fairly straightforwardly. I'm going to move my factory in as well, actually. And we'll pick off the remaining forces here. There's some cloaked enemies we're destroying, and we need to destroy these guard posts. And then this counterattack will be permanently dealt with if we destroy all the guard posts. Our economy is absolutely roaring. I'd like to have more energy, but that's fine. Since our economy is in such great shape, we can probably just build some more turrets and things if we've got any spare. Yeah, let's have some on this planet. Let's have some watchmen and assault frigates. We'll just max out those caps. So they are quite expensive in energy, particularly the assault frigates are 6,000 each, or 6k rather. Nearly taken over Greys, and then we need to go and knock out that instigator, and then we're back to our original plan. But we really need to make sure we secure Greys and destroy the guard posts that are here. It's nice having all these snipers in this fleet, even though they're not very high mark, because they don't need to move to be hitting the enemy, so they're always getting their damage output. There's no wasted time. Are these guard posts down yet? No, we've got a couple of guard posts yet to shoot. This one's getting torn up. And the counterattack is now gone. So we're going to stack up our forces outside Eglinton, move in the factory to support, and then we're going to move in to Eglinton, which is not terribly well defended. And I'm going to take this system. There'll be no messing around. Take them off, free roam, and send them in. Still got a great economy, but let's let these forces... So the forces in Eglinton are basically safe, but I want to make sure they prioritise taking out this instigator before it goes off again. Got another minute, but we'll just move in and quickly destroy that. And then the forces here I'm not terribly worried about, so I think I'll just put my guys on free roam. This is a little bit lazy of me, but while they're on free roam they can just go and do that. Oh, what have we here? Tethuida Guardians are turning snipers into zombies that are attacking me, but we should wipe those out. That shouldn't really be a problem. Yeah, Tethuida Guardians swarm a force field guard post. Some nasty things on that planet, but I think we can leave our guys fighting it. Back on our home command station, we can build some more fusion turrets. You should always defend your home command station with a lot of stuff, because no matter what happens, no matter how careful you're being, things can get through, and you will very much regret it. I'm going to put some tachyons there so they can immediately decloak things that come in, and I'm also going to put a single tractor on each of those so they can quickly catch anything small that comes in. So energy is not too amazing, but our metal economy is incredible. How are our forces doing here? I'm going to move the factory in. That way these forces can keep the factory safe, and the factory can add its own firepower and repairs and things to the offensive we're doing. Oh, the enemy's started to flee to Belfast. Well, we'll let some of those escape, that's fine. We'll just carry on doing what we're doing. Now here, I'm shooting the drones down and slowly shoving through them, but what I should do is tell everyone to focus on the force field, because it can constantly, infinitely make drones. We should just ignore the drones and knock the force field and the guard station down. So that's done. The AI is not quite smart enough to know to do that. There's some people attacking Dunloy. It's just a wave. I'm not terribly worried about that. Fleet 4 is there to help defend it as well. We've got plenty of spider turrets to paralyse them. Okay, we're going to take this system, but if I took this system, I would get 20 AIP from taking the system. That's 15 from destroying the guard station, 5 from destroying the warp gate, which is automatic. But I would also get another 5 from destroying this black hole machine. Now I don't really want another 5 AIP, so I could use Sabotage to destroy the black hole machine for 16 hack points, and I would get no AIP increase, or I could reprogram it, and then the black hole machine would work for me. Do I want to reprogram it? Well, it's in kind of a vulnerable position, so I'm not super keen on doing that. I think I'm just going to sabotage it. So I'm paying 16 hack points here to avoid getting 5 AIP. I'm okay with that, and it's a good demonstration of how this works. So Fleet 1 is hacking that. There should be a very minor response from the AI. I think it'll spawn a few ships here, and then it will send an exo fleet, which will try and kill my home command station, but we've got lots of defences that'll be able to deal with that. Exo fleets, unless you have lots of them coordinating, are not terribly scary at the moment. So that's gone, we don't get any AIP increase, and then I'm going to knock over this command station because I want to take this system. I'm going to put in a logistical for now, that's going to be my placeholder. I'm going to put it, well, I think I'll just put it a long way away so that all of the enemies can be drawn into a turret death trap around there. But the other reason I want to take this system is because I get this, the Lost Spire frigate. So I can repair this. It's going to cost 2 million metal, but that's fine. And the great thing about the Lost Spire frigate is that it's a flagship, but it has its own set of really good weapons. In this case, it's got tons of Spire photon lancers. Yeah, 3 beams, just giant beam cannons that are going to annihilate things. Now these are not particularly great until you upgrade them. You upgrade them directly, like I was upgrading the battle stations earlier on. So I will upgrade the Lost Spire frigate. See, here's an explanation tip that we could see if we wanted to. I'll just click on that and you can see. Here he is, offers a Holjet. I'm going to change his name. He is going to be called Mr. Lasers. So he's set on roam if instructed. That's because if we put him on free move, he'll then be able to move around and shoot as he likes, whereas this transport flagship is set on stay put unless given a direct order, because he doesn't have any weapons, so I don't want him roaming around. So we've got a fleet attacking Dunloy, we're still fine there. They keep attacking Dunloy, but it's very well defended, so that's not really a problem. I'll maybe just throw up another gravity generator here. Okay, we now have fleet number 5, Mr. Lasers. Are you repaired now? Or are you... I think you're paralysed at the moment, are you? You should be claimed. Yes, there we go. He is ready. More discount doesn't intimidate. I could give him some ships that he could build, just like Fleet 1. He can be used like that, but I think I'll just have him be on his own and use his own lasers. But I am going to upgrade him. So if I have a look at him, I can upgrade directly with science here. So I'm going to upgrade him once. And then I think I'm probably going to upgrade him a second time. Another 750 is worth it for me, so I will take that. And I will give him free roaming orders for now. And we'll keep him on 5 so we can order him around separately. Now, as a test of how good he is, maybe we could go into Belfast and knock out this data center. But the AI has what's called an eye building there. Now, eyes are really nasty buildings that trigger only if you've got too much strength at the planet. This one will do only if the strength is outnumbered here. So if we look at number 5, his strength is equal to 77. So if he moves in there, he will trigger the AI to use their eye, the Chain Lightning Eye. I think the Chain Lightning Eye is not terribly worrying to the Spire Frigate, so I'm going to move the Spire Frigate in. Got an attack on Dunloy. Yes, we know that our forces in Dunloy are capable of dealing with this. They do have these raiders that are slipping past our tractor beams and causing us some problems. So, yeah, there's not a huge amount I can do about that. I could throw up some paralysis mines to catch them. They are being picked off. So I'm going to send number 6 in, and we'll see what the eye looks like when it activates. There's a couple of ways you can deal with eyes. You can send in forces that won't activate them. You can knock out all the guard posts, and then the eye itself will become vulnerable, and you can knock it down. That's one way of doing it. Or you could go in there and hack it and sabotage them. I am just going to go in there because I'm not too worried about this. So he's going in and lasering everything. Let's have a look. Where is the Chain Lightning Eye? Forces at local planet. Electric Eye. There he is. Phase devouring. We're just going to fly right over to this data center and knock it over. And because we're a big capital ship with tons of shields and things, we're not going to take any losses doing this. He's just going to walk through, shooting his lasers. Ah, now. Belfast. Oh, that's where we are, sorry. Sorry, he's only... That's interesting. When I click on him, I'm getting AI Strength Selection 38. When I press 5... It looks like it's doubling it accidentally, which is a bug there. But his strength is only 38, so it's not enough to set off the eye. And a Warden fleet has turned up, so yeah, we're definitely not going to set that off. He's not brilliant at destroying single structures, but you can see his lasers are good against kind of groups of enemies that are in a straight line. Just lasers straight through them. You look cool. Alright, Mr. Lasers. So he's starting to take some hits, but he's still very tough. The shields are nearly down on the data center, and he should easily finish that off. So I'll tell him to finish that off, and then I'll give him a follow-up order to just leave the system. Let's see about that. So this is Belfast, that's why we're getting this warning that we're really outnumbered there. And off he goes. And on the way out he'll laser some more of these wardens that are chasing him. And we get our minus 20 AIP. So we just gained 20 by taking Eglinton, but we will pay that off straight away, of course. So let's build our defences at Eglinton. We're going to have pike turrets. We'll have those just there. We're going to have fusion turrets. We'll have a nice line of those there. And we're going to put up tractors. So the tractors, I want them to be just on the edge of the pike turrets range and just catch the enemy that's coming through. We'll also throw in a gravity generator to slow the enemy down as they're trying to pass through. That costs quite a bit of energy, so we will leave that at that for now. AI spawning a wave, and our lost spire frigates come home. Mr. Lasers has returned to help us with this defence. So a successful reduction of the AIP, but in the progress I took a planet, which increased my strength overall. I've got a, this spire frigate and so on. But it means overall the AI has not ended up being decreased. So we do want to make sure we go and take this data centre out at Dorsey. To get to Dorsey, we're going to pass through Faisley. Faisley has another eye. This one is a nastier one, the Hive Eye. So ideally we would either want to hack that or pick off all of the guard posts to make it vulnerable. It's currently got... It needs at least 3 guard posts, and it's currently got 6. So if we kill 4 guard posts, we will make that vulnerable and we can shoot it. Or we could just hack it, but that does take our precious hacking points. So let's move into St. Ives and here we go. 5. Take you off free roam, send you in. And we'll move our factory in to St. Ives as well, I think. And the resistance is going to give us a hand. Okay, so they're trying to move to Belfast, so I'm immediately going to send my forces over there to try and kill as many of them as they leave the system as I can. It's just always a good thing to kill the wardens and fleets, warden, threat and hunter fleets whenever you can, so they don't run off and cause problems everywhere else. Like, the AI does constantly reinforce them, but keeping their numbers down, thinning the herd is always a good idea. So that's the wormhole to Belfast secured, and we just beat up the enemy there for a bit. Strength-wise, we've got them very outnumbered, as you can see, and we've got the human resistance that has arrived, the Paw Patroller helping us out as well. So let's tell our main fleet to go on free roam, so they can just clear up the system on their own. And then I think I'm going to poke my head into Faisley and have a look. So I'm going to move my Spire frigate over. Oh, we have a Dire Guardian, Dire Plasma Guardian, but he's going to get killed very quickly. They're very strong, but the AI needs more than just one of them to cause me problems, basically. Let's have a look in Faisley. Big enemy movement here, lots of AI stuff moving around. We've got an orbital inertia missile. Does massive damage, repulses smaller ships. This could be a problem. And these guard posts, thankfully, are all clustered together, so if we move in, we can quickly knock those out. But I am concerned about this big fleet moving to Murdoch. Why are they moving to Murdoch? It could be that they're moving around here to reinforce over here. A fairly large fleet is being sent to Eglinton, more than our defences can probably cope with, at the moment at least. Yeah, so we would want to move a fleet back there to help in Eglinton, but we've got a couple minutes before that happens. Let's poke our heads into Faisley and see what we can do with just our Spire frigate. There's a lot of sniper fire immediately coming in on me as I move in. Let's see what this missile orbital command station does. It's pretty hard. Pretty hard. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to successfully do very much there. I'm going to move my first fleet in as well. Into St. Ives. So that we can start picking off these structures. But we need to be careful that we don't go over the amount of strength that the AI has. Because if we do, the eye will wake up and start causing us all kinds of problems. I'm going to try and knock out these weak guard posts here. Has the eye woken up? Nope. It's still asleep. So we only need to kill 4 guard posts. I'm trying to do that at the moment. Oh, and the orbital's coming back towards us. That's excellent. That's an opportunity for us to kill the orbital. I think we don't... I'm just going to pause this for a second. A lot going on. Do we get any AIP increase if we kill that? No. So we're going to kill that. That'll be our objective for now. You can see a counter. We've already lost enough stuff that a counterattack is being triggered. Hopefully we can knock out this orbital as it flies past. Shields are going down. Oh, it's a bit tense. Okay, I'm going to retreat. This has gotten a bit too much. We're going to retreat back to Eglinton with all of our forces, and we're going to move the factory back to Eglinton as well. Because we know that the enemy's going to attack us. Now this counterattack I do want to do something about, but I do have a bit of time before that triggers off. So along the way we will be fighting this wave that was spawning. Whoops, number 2, please get out of there. We lost our combat factory, it's bailed up back to Limavady. I'm pretty sure I told you to leave. Why are they going through Drumbo? The AI... Okay, we appear to have got ourselves very confused here. For some reason, my forces in this system decided to take a really weird route back home. So yeah, we've gotten ourselves into some trouble here. I want all forces at 1 to go to there, and all forces at 5 to go to there. And we lost our Spire frigate. That has added a large amount to the counterattack. The Spire frigate has bailed out and is being repaired here. We've got a combat factory I can send back in. But yeah, we need to hold the enemy here. Now, this is a big problem, this counterattack, so we're going to need to move quick to do something about that. I might increase the tech level of some of my offensive firepower. I'll just pause this for a moment. If we look at our Fleet 1, What would we benefit most from in terms of tech? Well, you can see lots of these would increase our turret capabilities quite a lot. Piercing would increase our fusion bombers and parasitic fusion bombers, and of course it would help our fusion turrets, which would be nice. So maybe we'll take piercing to level 2 now. And I'll unpause it. That gives us a bit more firepower in our main fleet. The Spire frigate is being repaired up. Yeah, we got a bit cocky there. Paid the price. That's okay. The AI in Eglinton is being chewed up. I don't think there's a serious concern they're going to knock our shields down. If they destroyed our command station here, it wouldn't be a disaster. It's just that the AI gets to spawn an exo fleet every time they kill a command station, and it would hurt our economy. And we would have to spend time rebuilding it and so on, so it's not ideal. Here's our combat factory. He has arrived. Fleet 1 is still fighting here. They're down to half strength though. They're pretty beaten up in all of this. Soon our Spire frigate will be back on its feet. We might not be able to do anything about this counterattack because we're getting so stuck on Eglinton. And you can see our metal reserves are being chewed up by all this fighting. Okay guys. We've got a very specific job to do. Can we get back to Faisley and stop the counterattack? No, there's no time. So we have to accept the enemy is going to spawn. Well, let's pause it for a moment. What do they get? They get 129 strength, and it will spawn on Faisley. Can't cancel it, we can't stall it, we don't have the time to get our forces there. But they will spawn on Faisley, so we can then move in and try to do something about it. Maybe we can bait them into St. Ives and try and knock out some of those counter-attack forces. We'll see. For now, let's just focus on rebuilding our fleets, securing our planet. 587 ships on Faisley. Let's move straight into St. Ives. And our Spire fleet now has woken up, which is good. So hopefully we can bait in some enemy forces here, as well as wiping out some of these wardens, and stop this big threat fleet they've built up here. Just escaping, and they can kind of stockpile them ready to attack us when we're vulnerable. We don't want them to do that. So let's try and take as much stuff as we can out here. They're definitely moving for Belfast. And a wave is going towards Barla. Let's look at the defences on Barla. Not terribly worried about Barla. I'm going to load up our home defence force, Fleet 4, and send them over to Barla. And I'll send my fortresses over to Barla as well to help the defence there. So just finishing off the remains of these forces, and then I think, lots of, this is where our forces got destroyed earlier on, our fusion bombers. They've turned into zombies, and we're now picking those off. So is the enemy in Blaney? Yeah, there's a fairly big build-up of the enemy in Blaney, so maybe we can sort of counter-attack them there a bit. And I'm going to move the factory in so that we have our rebuilding constantly going on. Nearly back at 100%. Let's move into Blaney. Spire fleet join us. So this is going to trigger quite a response from the AI. Are we okay in Blaney? We will be when the Spire fleet gets here for sure. Yes, the AI is now fleeing, and we've got the opportunity to kill a few of them. You can see we killed one of their force field guardians, and we zombified it because we had parasites here, and that has blocked the enemy from getting to Faisley, which is quite cool. Let's just kill a few more of them. So we've got an enemy Dire Guardian. It's nice to pick those off. And our objective still is to take over Faisley, or knock the defences out of Faisley, and get to Dorsey to take out that data centre. We've got a bit stuck here with the enemy counterattack and everything, but we're still in fairly good shape. I am worried about this. A big fleet of 3 threat the AI has. They can send to do whatever they want. Now they could be building those up, moving them over here, and they could try to attack towards our home command station, or they could go after our vulnerable energy reactor. There's a few places they could go with them. And we have to be ready to react when they turn up. In the meantime, keep picking off these forces so they don't build up. We'll try and get that number down if we can trap the AI and pick some of them off. We could fully clear up this system, but there's no great benefit for us to do that. I think we want to continue our attack on Faisley. If we move in at St. Ives, there's a bunch of Paralysis Guardians we can immediately fight. So let's move in. We'll get the factory to come and help us. So we'll move our forces out of Blaney, and we'll move over to Faisley. Is everything else ticking along okay? Yeah. There's an attack on Bala, so I'm going to unload my fleet number 4, and they will help the defences. This doesn't look too concerning. Spider Guardians are not particularly damaging, so they're going to have difficulty getting through these force fields. And these are V-Wings again. They're not that great at getting through force fields, so I'm not too worried about that. I think we'll be okay there. I mean, they do have more strength than us currently, but perhaps we'll throw up some more spider turrets. Oh, we don't have enough energy. We are very close to an energy brownout, so I'm going to pause the game here so that I can rectify that. There's various things we can do to make sure we have enough energy. If we go below a certain amount, then we get a brownout, all the force fields will go down. Very vulnerable, very bad news for us. We want to make sure that we have more of an energy buffer than this. So we could upgrade our home command station further, but that's very expensive. We could upgrade orbital mining, very expensive. We don't have the science. We would need to take more planets to be able to do that. We could use hack points to transform this transport flagship here. If I click on this, where are we? Transform. We could turn it into a high energy flagship, which generates 440,000 energy. So since we're not using this flagship for anything, we can do that. But 30 hack points is quite a lot. I think I'm going to do that though. Do that transform. Now, unlike hacks, those are instantaneous, so we immediately have the energy available. And that's going to put us in good stead and give us a bit more of a buffer. But it was a bit painful to spend so many hack points on it. Okay. The boys at Faisley. Now, is there anything we can do here? Well, we're going to wait for this orbital to come around. Oh, it's coming around now, actually. So we're going to try and knock out that orbital when we go into Faisley. But let's just go in there. There's the whole mob. We can fight these guardians that are close by. And we have woken up the eye. Okay, let's pause it. So, the reason that happened is we have got enough strength in here that it's higher than the strength that they've got, which has caused this to spawn a bunch of yellow jackets, nasty wasps. This is still invulnerable. Yeah, very unpleasant. So they're going to keep building these as long as we've got too much strength in here. So I think what I want to do is to bail out my Spire to reduce the amount of strength we have on the planet. There it goes. And just leave it to number 1. I think now currently being powered. How long do you stay alerted for? A while. This is really dangerous, although these guys don't last very long. So what we can do is shoot up another Guardian or two. And then once that Guardian's dead, flee to St. Ives. So we're going to run away so that all these wasps don't slaughter us. Bye! So you can see these have a limited lifespan, these wasps. Really nasty though when that gets activated, that eye. Let's have a look back on Bala. Ooh. There's cloaked threat on Bala, that's interesting. I'm going to build a tachyon frigate, a sentry frigate, and then I'm going to tell him to fly around the system and find where these cloaked ships are. Oh, sorry, I've made a mistake there. I wasn't looking at Bala. I was looking at the wrong planet. So that was unnecessary. Okay. Where's Bala? This is a fairly significant force, and it's a serious threat to our reactor. So I'm going to pause the game here. I'm going to load up Flagship 1, and I'm going to tell my Spire frigate to come back as well. We're going to move as much as we can over to Bala. This is the Hunter fleet, and this is the threat fleet as well. So the AI, this big counterattack we're waiting for, this is it. They're going after Bala command station. So I'm going to move my forces back, and as many forces as I can get here are going to head here immediately to reinforce this. So we're still building, our defences are still fighting. We've got a bit of time before this becomes overwhelming. Our defences here definitely can't handle this, but what we're waiting for is for our ships to come home. So we've got number 1, it's already reached Saxmundham. Limavady, I think this should be fine, it's going to go like that. Allied resistance ships. There's some forces in Dunwich, but they're very outnumbered, we don't need to worry about that. The main thing is we just need our Spire fleet and our fleet number 1 to get back here as soon as possible. Fleet number 1 is hurtling back here. 4 is producing defenders as fast as it can to stall the enemy. And our turrets are fighting as well, of course. This is an opportunity for us to kill this big threat fleet though. So, in a way, it's not too bad. Oh, we lost our battle station. Yeah, we're definitely running low on defenders here. How long until the ships get here? So 1 is nearly here. As soon as 1 gets here, I've told it to unload. Here it comes. Unload, please. So I'm hoping that will be enough to keep the enemy off our force fields. Just in time, weren't they? Just in the nick of time. But really a big force is built up in Bala now, so we can have a hell of a fight, no matter what gets here, how many reinforcements get here. Can you go on free roam, please? But we can see that now their strength numbers are starting to tick down a little. The force fields are still holding. And we're seeing their threat is decreasing, because we are killing these free ships they had. The Spire frigate isn't here yet, they're quite slow compared to the other fleet. He's passing through Dunwich, which is under a bit of threat as well, but I'm going to have to leave Dunwich to its own fate for now, because I'm more interested in what's happening in Bala. Oh, our force fields are taking a bit of a beating now. Let's get our... Yeah, unfortunately we lost our command station, which means that they've sent another exo fleet, but we haven't lost our energy reactor yet, it's okay. We're still defending the system. I think our Spire fleet, our Spire fleet has now arrived and is Mr. Lasers is lasering away. So you can see our strength is higher than theirs and we're starting to turn the tide here. Damn, this is close though. I don't like to be under this much pressure. This is how AI war goes though. It's very back and forth a lot of the time. Sometimes you make a mistake and you get really punished for it. And our big mistake was just letting that counterattack happen, losing so much stuff on that planet that the counterattack went off. There we go, the forces on Bala are now definitely being pushed back. More stuff is coming in, but it's really just an opportunity for us to kill things now. And our economy is okay. We really don't want to go below 1 million surplus metal, but it looks like we might do. The Spire frigate has taken some hits, but he's doing okay. If I move him here, his lasers should hopefully target along this line of enemies. And we've got a fleet going for Dunloy, but I'm not too worried about that. We've got one in Limvady. These are some of these exo fleets, I think. Yeah, exogalactic strike forces that have been sent in response to me losing a command station and the hack earlier and so on. Ideally, you don't want to be losing command stations. So, Spire fleet, please go and chase these guys out as you leave. There we go. Threat repulsed with losses, and the enemy threat is greatly decreased from 300 down to under 100 now. So that was their big counterattack wave. The AI used it intelligently, though. They didn't manage to knock over one of my command stations. These guys are high mark vanguards, so they're very tough ships. They're like little tanks. That's why they're taking so long to kill. Okay, success. So an attack is hitting Dunlight. We want to save some forces here to make sure that Bala is safe. But yeah, I'm going to load up Fleet 1, and we do need to get back to trying to win over here, get this thing in Dorsey. So Fleet number 1 has loaded up its troops, and I'm going to fly it straight back to Eglinton. And I'm also going to send the Spire fleet back to Eglinton. And we're going to rely on our forces here. Our economy is looking pretty rough, so we don't want to be in a big war for a bit. We've got to rebuild all these turrets and things. That's why there's such a drain on our economy there.
Construction facilities nearly depleted.
Oh, look at that. 97% there. So Dunloy is now having a battle. Need to learn the names of these so that I know where they are. Yeah, there's Dunloy. So the AI has turned up there. I think I might send the Spire frigate, because the Spire frigate is a good way of winning these fights without expending lots of craft, because he's just one big ship. We'll go and have number 1 hang out on Eglinton for now. Varlet is fine. And there's the Spire frigate. We've put him on free roam. He's just going to roam around obliterating these ships. I do love watching those beams go to work. Pretty cool. The Resistance have turned up here. They've got enough forces that they can help me out here. So we should be completely fine there. Spire fleet, come back to Eglinton.
Resistance cell strike successful. They are headed home.
Okay, let's move back to St. Ives.
Plotting course now. Moving out.
There's some very minor forces here that we'll wipe out as we pass through, just to avoid them being adding to the defences of some other planet. Some of our own zombified ships still hanging around here. Alright boys, head over to Faisley.
The course has already been plotted.
By telling them to load, they actually get a speed boost as they're moving to load into the big ship. Oh, a big force at Dunloy. Are we going to have to move a fleet back to help with this? I don't think so. I'll move fleet number 4 in there, and let's check if we can build anything to help. No, we're okay. We're building our metal up again as well, so we're not in too bad a shape. Alright. Time for another attempt on Faisley, which so far has been a disaster every time we've gone in there. But we'll see. Faisley we go. So we haven't got enough strength to set up the hive eye this time, but I would be very interested in knocking over some more guard posts. So what I'm going to do is attempt to knock over that MLRS guard post over there. I don't mind taking some losses. I really just need to get the number of guard posts down so that the AI becomes vulnerable. There's still 5. We need to kill 3 more and then he'll be vulnerable. You can see that my fusion bombers can go through without destroying the shield, which is a little bit anti-synergistic with stuff that do have to hit the shield. Anyway, that is that. Let's also take out that guard station and that guard station, and then we should be able to go after the AI. Another big counterattack happening because we're losing so much here, but I think we should have enough firepower to go through this. You guys attack that instead, please. Thank you. So as soon as that guard post is dead, I think the eye will be vulnerable. Yes, the eye is vulnerable, so we can now remove the eye. They're not that tough, so we should be able to tear through that fairly fast. And now we don't have to worry about keeping our strength low anymore. So we're going to pull back to around St Ives. St Ives is warp gate. And work out what we're going to do next. We need to make sure we're on top of this counterattack. Dunloy, how are you doing? You having any problems? Not really. One of the problems of having these distributed around the edge is the AI will send ships after them sometimes, and that means they go around your main set of defences. So I think they've got a... Yeah, I'm going to put a tacky on there so I can see them. That's okay, we're still killing those raiders off pretty quick. Oh, they have moved a fairly big force into Dunloy though. How are we doing in Faisley? Well, you know, I wouldn't say we're doing great in Faisley. We're still on top of it. So we've got 2 battles that we need to keep on top of here. Our economy's okay still. Back in Dunloy we are chipping away at this enemy force. As long as it doesn't get out of hand, I can kind of ignore it. Back in Faisley... What are you doing? Oh, warbird frigates. Okay, the Spire ship has now arrived. Let's go and knock out this annoying orbital guard post that's been causing us so much damage this whole time. Here we go, the lasers are attacking, and then in comes the main fleet, and this should go pretty quick now. Start stripping away the shields. Oh, the Warden has turned up. So the AI knows that we're causing a problem here, and it's sending forces to compensate. But these are not going to be a problem. We'll just regroup and take those out. So I think we've kind of won the fight now at Faisley. I'm not very worried about it. But, we could certainly do with clearing the whole system out and killing everything here. So I'll leave my forces to do that for now. Now, the CPA is a cross-planet attack. A CPA, the best way to think of it is like a massive zombie invasion. The ships that are released in the CPA are completely brain dead, they just fly straight towards your home command station and other critical infrastructure, but they are relentless. It's just like this tide of enemy ships pouring towards you. And they don't gather up into like big waves, instead it's just like a constant river of attacks on you. So for them you want to really make sure that you've got your turrets very built up, ready to fight those. And you want to reduce the AIP as much as possible before it happens. So yeah, this CPA is something for us to keep an eye on, but we need to make sure we beat Faisley first. By destroying the guard post we will stop the counterattack from happening. So I'm going to tell my forces to knock out these 2 guard posts. Just prioritise them. Dunloy's still got enemy ships attacking it, that's okay though. I think these spider turrets are drawing the enemy away from this, our main lot of turrets a bit too much, so I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to send my battle station here and I'm going to build some spider turrets over here somewhere to draw the enemy into the main guns. Good to adjust my defences if they're causing problems. Guard post down. Right, that's it. The attack, counterattack is dealt with. We can now move on to Dorsey. We could take Faisley if we wanted, but I don't particularly want the ships that I would get there. So, let's move to Dorsey. And we'll be able to get another nice AIP reduction by hitting Dorsey. We can also see there's some other data centers and things out here. There's lots of structures that are of interest, but the most important is to keep the AIP down, so I would like to hit this AIP reduction on Pickering as well. And we've cleared a pretty good route. Drumbo's not very well defended, Pickering's not terribly well defended. Pickering actually has an interesting ship on it too. It has the Nodorian Tortoid, a space tortoise. Let's have a look at him. There he is. Isn't he adorable, with a city on his back? Look at that tortoise. And he's very cool. He's an ARC, so he's a big officer fleet ship, much like the Spire frigate that does cool stuff. So we may want to take him at some point. What does he actually do? Well, he has a massive artillery gun that also damages every enemy on the current planet constantly, so he's a big attrition and long-range frigate. Right, is there anything on Dorsey we need to worry about? There's a black hole machine. That's okay. Eglinton's going to get hit by a wave. I will send the Spire frigate back to Eglinton. I will load my ships up onto Dorsey, and I'm just going to do a quick test of this black hole machine and see if it actually can stop my flagship. I think it can stop me from leaving, but I'm going to check. Yes, it can. So we're going to need to destroy it. And this is probably a case, again, where I want to hack the black hole machine just to allow me to leave. If I just destroy it straightforwardly, I get AIP increase. Now what I could have done here, actually, this was a mistake on my part, what I could have done is I could have just sent a few ships I don't care about surviving through. They could have destroyed it and I could just scrap them. But as it is, I've got my flagship stuck by doing this. And this black hole machine, it's in a position that could be annoying for us later on, because this is like a junction world, so I think it's worth me taking it out anyway. So what I'm going to do is sabotage black hole machine. That's 16 hack points in exchange for not increasing the AIP by 5. That's okay. It's going to spawn some enemies, but we're not worried about that. While we're here, let's kill this Dire Guardian. Dire Guardian destroyed, and I want to get rid of this wave that's been spawned by the hack as well. But then after I've done that, I don't have anything else to do on Dorsey, basically. Dorsey has got a Parasite Citadel that I could steal, but it's very expensive in terms of AIP. And it's got a Warden fleet base. Now that is interesting. That coordinates the defensive fleets the AI uses, and it would probably be worth me getting rid of that. So I'm going to tell my forces that that is one of their objectives. Warden fleet bases are quite tough, but we shouldn't be too bad to get rid of it, so we'll just get rid of that. The CPA is ticking down, only got 3 minutes left till that starts kicking off. So we want to make sure we've got a good economy before that happens, and build up our defences ready for it as well. Just going to throw in some more tractor beams. Let's get some paralysis mines. They're very cheap in terms of energy, so I quite like having paralysis mines up. Now, when this wave attacks, the main two places we're going to stop it are Limvady and potentially Dunwich. It can come through here, through Ashburton. So we need to make sure that those are well defended. Limvady is very strong. I don't have any concerns about that. A little bit concerned about Dunwich. I might hack one of these turrets so that we can build more turrets. So I'm going to send fleet number 4 over there to do that. Okay, and we're going to load up fleet number 1 and get the hell out of Dodge. I'm okay with Eglinton being at risk during this CPA, so I'm not going to keep very much there. I might keep the Spire frigate there, possibly, to help defend it, or I might move him back. We want to be able to quickly react to threats to our homeworld, so I think I am going to move the Spire frigate back to Limvady. Dunloy, there's some stealth enemies around here. I'm going to build a sentry frigate.
Incoming resistance transmission. You're welcome.
And send him off. He's a tachyon frigate that looks for stealthy stuff. Oh, just passing through greys. Fleet 1 is going to go home to Eglinton. Ooh, look at that big wooden fleet. And then we're getting in position to defend against the CPA. Do I have time to go and take out this data center at Pickering? I don't think so. I think we'll be careful. We'll be cautious. So Eglinton's definitely under threat. But when Fleet 1 gets home, it will easily deal with this wave. And they are on their way right now. Oh, hello, what have I found? So the AI had hidden this little pocket of raiders next to this. Presumably they would then be activated when other enemies turned up. They knew they couldn't win, so they were just hiding there next to my command station. But they're dealt with now. Eglinton is in trouble, it's having its tractor beams overrun, but I already know that actually Fleet 1 is going to move up there and unload. It's quite slow to fly through enemy systems, that's why Fleet 1 took so long to get there. But there's no retreat for these guys now, and Fleet 1 will pick them off. CPA is nearly ready. Do we want to get some turrets before this happens? Well, yeah, I think we do. So we're going to steal a turret line for all. This is very expensive, but it gives us these turrets for all of our stations. And let's have a look at what we've got. We've got zombification turrets. We've got jammer turrets. Jams any weapons so they fire slower. That's nice. Or an all-rounder. Their energy costs are all the same. I'm going to go for the jammer turrets, I think, to slow the enemy's fire down. Or maybe the subverters. The subverters give us parasite technology, so I'm going to take the subverters. So 4 will have to defend this station against, because while we hack there will be a response, of course. But we should be fine. Our turret should beat up these guys here. In Dunwich. Oh, it's spawned quite a lot of stuff. Yeah, this hack has spawned rather a lot of stuff that we need to deal with. We should be fine, but it was a little bit more than I was expecting. I guess because the second time we'd hacked that structure, the response was a bit stronger. I'm going to load up Fleet 1. And much as I would like to protect Eglinton, I'm going to be really cautious and move Fleet 1 home, and I'm going to move Fleet 5 over to Dunwich. This is ready for the cross-planet attack, which is now just, they've released all the ships, so those guys are on their way to us right now. And I think Dunwich is my biggest defensive liability currently, so I'm going to add to its defences by throwing in these subverter turrets. This is very much a game about spinning a lot of plates at the same time. But we're okay, there's not too much drawing our attention right now. We've got a good economy, we've got our fleets in good shape. Yeah, we're looking good. We are at about the hour and 10-minute mark, so I don't want to carry on this video for too much longer, but I think we'll carry on until we've defeated this first cross-planetary assault. Yay, our spire ship's turned up. Mr. Lasers. Right, we're just going to keep an eye on where the enemy's turning up. So we've got some stuff turning up in Dunloy. This is an exogalactic strike force. Oh, the human resistance force has turned up here to absolutely obliterate these guys for me, which is very handy. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Paw Patrol.
I guess their work is done here. Allied resistance ships leaving.
Yeah, we're looking good. Let's have some subverter turrets up at this one too. So we'll put them so they're
Right away, sir.
just reinforcing those turrets. Do we have enough energy? Right now, yes. But we're getting a little bit close on it, right? We may want to do some direct upgrades to these command stations. How many... So that's only got 3 asteroid plants. That's very bad economically. And that one's only got 6. I think we might want to upgrade Eglinton, weirdly enough, because it's got so many asteroids that doing a direct upgrade to this particular... So if I click on the command station and I click on it, then I can do a direct level up. Oh, I'd need a bit more science, but if I did that, it would improve my energy economy quite a bit and metal economy.
Incoming resistance transmission. Sorry.
So right now, the only real threat is if all of our energy gets knocked over, we could have a brownout, and the AI can knock our energy over by knocking out a reactor or destroying our asteroid power plants. We have quite a bit of metal, so what I'm going to do is preemptively build some matter converters that turn metal into energy, and I'm going to build 1, 2, 3 of those, and you can see our energy shoot up, but it means our metal economy is worse. We can build those, we can get rid of them whenever we want. If I delete one now, you can see energy goes down, metal rate increases. But I'm actually going to have 4 of those. And that's just to make sure that our energy never dips below an acceptable level. So I think this is the... Yes, this is the cross-planet attack. The fastest ships in the cross-planet attack starting to arrive now. The slower ones are the more worrying ships. So enemy forces turning up in Bala. I'm going to send 4 up there to reinforce them. 5 will stay here. Looks like Bala and Dunwich is where the bulk of the enemy is turning up. So I'm going to react to that. Yeah, Bala is definitely where the main enemy force is arriving at the moment. So now the game kind of becomes like a tower defense game. We've just got these waves of, or streams of enemies coming at you. But nothing that worrying. The cross-planet attack is not that big, because it's early on in the game. It gets bigger as you progress. I'm going to move the spire ship in here just to make sure that this doesn't get taken out. But I think Defensive Fleet 4 and the turrets here is probably sufficient to maintain it for now. Getting some nice Mark 5 zombies by killing these ships that are turning up. So more of them turning up at Bala. It would be good if most of the enemy turned up at Bala. That would actually be really good for us. I can see there's some cross-planetary attack ships coming in here. God, they're so small I can't even select them. Yeah, they're cross-planet attack as well. So they're going to Aberdare and they're presumably going to attack Limvady or maybe go over to Dunwich. Either way, we're in good shape. The Spire frigate has now turned up. Just started lasering things as he loves to do. There is a wave coming at Dunloy, so Dunloy could get quite pressured when that wave arrives if it coordinates with the cross-planet attack. But yeah, look at these idiots just straight into our guns. Yeah, not too worried about that. I'm going to move Fleet 1 up to Dunloy to keep an eye on it. Eglinton, because it's economically quite important, I'm going to give them some extra defences. Just some space mines, paralysis mines. And I might give them a couple of these roaming defences as well. Just to beef them up a little bit. And then subverter turrets. Subverter turrets can go in. There we go. So how are we looking? It looks like the cross-planet attack is really not getting up to much. They're running straight into our guns and getting destroyed. Yeah, because they're all different speeds of ship, they kind of come in dribs and drabs. Now, at the moment, my ships aren't really doing very much, which is a little bit of a waste, so I'm going to send my main fleet 1 into Ashburton and just kill all the defenders on that planet, because they can easily do it. If I put them on free roam, they'll easily sweep this system, just to completely clear it. And because they can actually get metal by doing that, that's economically a fairly good idea for me. And we can generate some zombies because we've got some parasite technology. So a useful thing to do when there's nothing else for them to be doing. This is actually a wave that was being spawned to attack Dunloy. So we've managed to intercept a wave that was coming in as well. And presumably we'll do quite a bit of damage to that before it leaves. Cool. Yeah, I think that cross-planet attack is mostly dealt with at this point. I don't see any more serious threats. We can always react if they turn up. And we should start planning our next defence, but I think the next defence will be waiting for my next video. Not a huge amount happened in this one. We reduced the AIP a bit, we got the Spire frigate, and I think our next objective is probably to take out this data centre. We may want to take one of these systems so that we can explore this bit. We want to find the second AI brain. We know what the first one is, and we want to begin our assault on the first one, potentially next episode. So I hope you will join me then, and thank you for watching.